Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my player ratings for Manchester United's 3-1 defeat to Aston Villa. So we'll start with the man between the sticks, David De Gea. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Could have done better for two of Aston Villa's goals. As you all know, David De Gea is Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper. He will accept a major pay cut to stay at Man United. De Gea's contract at the club expires at the end of the season. There's an option of an additional year. De Gea earns £375,000 a week. De Gea has been a long-serving player at Man United. He's endured around 11.5 years at the club. He's been with us since the Ferguson era and he's made over 500 appearances for Manchester United. Moving on to Diego Dalot, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 average performance by him. By the way, Dalot did receive a yellow card in the game. He is now suspended for Man United's next game. Dalot is Man United's first choice right back, so reflecting on that, there's no way back for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Moving on to Victor Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. I thought he was poor and he got caught out quite a few times. Moving on to Lisandro Martinez, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Not the best of performances by him. Moving on to Luke Shaw, I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 6 out of 10. Luke Shaw obviously played a part in the own goal. You know, Luke Shaw whacked it and it got deflected off Jacob Ramsey and went in. So the goal was fortuitous. Luke Shaw, by the way, did receive a yellow card in the game. Moving on to Casemiro, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Average performance by him. Not so long ago, Casemiro got named Player of the Month. He scored 1 goal so far for Man United, and that was the 1-1 draw with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Moving on to Christian Eriksen, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Donny van der Beek, of course, he came in for Bruno Fernandes because Bruno Fernandes wasn't available because he was suspended. Van der Beek, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. I thought he endured a poor game. Moving on to Marcus Rashford, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Average performance by him. Garnacho, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He was probably Man United's best player yesterday. Don't forget, Alejandro Garnacho scored his first senior goal in the 1-0 win against Real Sociedad in the Europa League. Revert back 6 months ago, he scored twice in the FA Youth Cup. Moving on to Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Ronaldo did have some chances in the game, but didn't convert them. Ronaldo played in the 1-0 win against Real Sociedad. He did get the assist for the Garnacho goal and he missed a sitter in that game. You know, he wasted chances in the 1-0 win against West Ham. By the way, Erik ten Hag's frustrated by crossing at Ronaldo. Good chance Ronaldo will be leaving next year. Ronaldo's contract at the club expires next year. There's an option of an additional year. Man United re-signed Ronaldo from Juventus last year. By the way, yesterday he did receive a yellow card in the game. Man United brought substitutions on. We saw Anthony Martial come on. I'll give him a 5 out of 10. You know, Martial's just come back from injury. Terrell Malacia came on. I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Man United brought someone else on in the game as well, but I can't remember who it was. But anyway, that is your player ratings for Manchester United's 3-1 defeat to Aston Villa. It was the first time Aston Villa beat Manchester United at Villa Park in the league since 1995. And it was, of course, Unai Emery's first game in charge as Aston Villa manager. So he's enjoyed a good start to his managerial career at Aston Villa. Aston Villa, of course, were 2-0 up in the first 11 minutes. We saw Leon Bailey score. Leon Bailey has made an impact at Villa. Villa got him from Bayer Leverkusen. Lucas Digne, he scored a 25-yard free kick. Aston Villa got him from Everton. They paid around 25 million. And Jacob Ramsey scored for Aston Villa. He also provided an assist in the game. And obviously, he scored an own goal. And Ollie Watkins got an assist. But yeah, good performance by Aston Villa. By the way, Erik ten Hag came out and said that the tactics were stupid in the Aston Villa defeat. But first time, you know, Man United had lost in a while, because prior to the Villa game, we'd been unbeaten in our last, 9 in all competitions. Man United, of course, were missing players yesterday, but that's not an excuse. Obviously, Sancho was out with illness. Yeah. Tuanzebe was out, but he doesn't get in the team. Last season, he was out on loan with Villa. Varane's obviously still injured. He came off injured in the 1-1 draw with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Bruno Fernandes, as you all know, was suspended. Anthony, of course, is still out with injury. He's missed, the last 3 games now. Brandon Williams is injured, but again, you know, he doesn't get in the team. So there were the players that Man United were missing. Aston Villa, they were just missing one player, and that was Diego Carlos. As you all know, Manchester United have to play Aston Villa again in the Carabao Cup on Thursday. Preview will be coming up for that today. Manchester United, of course, drew with Aston Villa at Villa Park last season 2-2. Don't forget, Man United were 2-0 up in that game. But Unai Emery, he may do a good job at Aston Villa. You know, he's a decent manager. Aston Villa recently appointed him in. Aston Villa paid Unai Emery's €6 million release clause. I presume now that Unai Emery's contract has been sorted out, Obviously, Unai Emery replaced Steven Gerrard because Steven Gerrard got sacked not so long ago. Before Gerrard, Aston Villa had Dean Smith and Villa ended up sacking him. And then when he got sacked from Villa, he went to become the Norwich manager. But revert back to Unai Emery, managed quite a lot of clubs his managerial career so far. He's now at Villa. Before managed Villarreal. He did well at Villarreal because he won Europa Leagues. Before then, he managed PSG, won trophies with them, managed Arsenal before. He managed Sevilla, won Europa Leagues with them, managed Spartak Moscow, managed Valencia, Almeria, and he also managed Loco Deportivo. So they're the clubs Unai Emery's managed in his managerial career so far. So anyway guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.